We're asking the question, what does peace mean to you in Lent? And if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes feeling as Christians that we should be peaceful, we'll often just try to stop any hard conversations at all, anything that makes us uncomfortable. But unfortunately, what can happen, especially those of us who do have some power and privilege in this world, is that the people speaking up, making us uncomfortable, who are risking so much to share their story, our peace comes at their expense. There are two audiences that Jesus was talking to. There is the Pharisees, who are the elder son. They're the religious leaders. They are the ones who've done everything right. They're the good kids who've always been with the Father. And then there's these sinners and these tax collectors, these unnamed people who are viewed like the prodigal son, the one who turned their back on God, the one who was so rude. Why is Jesus spending any time with them at all? The elder son is always going to be a metaphor that we have to reflect on as people in the church. We may all at times have felt like the prodigal son, but we are also the elder son. We are both. And we can, in many ways, make sure that the worst of the elder son does not come out by pausing to think more deeply about the prodigal. Could you imagine sitting in the pew and I get up and begin to talk about something that's deeply personal to you, and you're thinking, boy, she's naming that story that's so hard to talk about. She understands. Boy, she's sharing stories just like mine. Wow, God sees me. God hears me. God understands. And then the person in front of you turns to their neighbor and says, oh, pastor's getting political again. What would that feel like? Would that feel maybe as if your story, the things that have hurt you, don't matter to the church? I'm constantly frustrated by comments that I hear from the Christian church in general, as well as from members of ELCA, who seem to get so mad anytime we try to talk about people. Somehow we have segmented certain people into a political issue rather than as human beings who need to be heard and understood. And it makes me wonder if the prodigal son might not have left in the first place partially because of the elder brother. Did you ever think of that? That maybe being the younger son against this perfect kid who always did everything right, who might have berated him, who might have compared constantly, telling him how good he was and how bad he was, that the son was sick of it. He was sick of being the black sheep. He was sick of being the one who couldn't do anything right, and so he just wanted to leave. I wonder if there are people who have left churches for just that reason. They felt like the prodigal, judged, couldn't be authentic, couldn't be who they were, had to fit in this little box and not be themselves in order to be accepted. That if they let anyone know who they really were or what was really going on in their life, it'd be over. One of the things we do as people of faith is we ask, God, may my heart break for what breaks your heart. Just share one quick story with you. Maybe you guys have heard about the Dr. Seuss books this week. And I'm sure you've heard all sorts of opinions, but let me just give a little bit of perspective. I heard that 6 old Dr. Seuss books were not going to be published anymore because there were some offensive and racist images in there. And someone on Facebook shared a post that said, I cannot believe these warriors of justice who are taking away our childhood, taking away our culture. What's next? Our shoes and our hairstyle? This is America, the land of the free. And as I thought about it, I thought, whose childhood? Whose culture? Who are the warriors of justice? And who gets to be free in America? If you grew up as a child seeing books that didn't reflect you at all, and the ones that did made you look less, called you names you did not identify with yourself, is that your culture? Is that your freedom? To me, that poem was the voice of the elder brother who could not consider the fact that other people might have been hurt, and those people were their brother and their sister. It might be an interesting lens for us as we go into the days and weeks and months ahead, that when we hear stories, regardless of what political pundits say and commentaries say, who's talking? Is it the elder brother? Is it the prodigal? Is it the woman sweeping desperately for her coin? While we can be the elder brother, we are called to be like the shepherd, like the woman sweeping, like the father waiting for the first sight of the sun, to forget the rules, to forget decorum, and run to the sun. May we do the same. Amen.